So it was on Monday of this week, so that was September 29th, and we had an assignment called the sleep cycle. And I was reading through it. I literally have the assignment right here. It's called the sleep cycle in dreams. I don't know who has the source. I tried to find the source, but it's just a school assignment, so I don't know what's going on with this, but so this assignment you had to read through and answer questions. So I was reading through it and I see this one part. It says that babies sleep 50 to 60% of their whole life. And I also saw there was another area where it said that adults only sleep 15 to 20% of their life. So this made me think. It made me think about decor, liminal space, 2000s, backrooms type. I love it so much, dude. Off topic, I love the backrooms so much. I'm so obsessed with the backrooms. I love it. I wish I could just be there in the pool rooms. It's a whole thing. Anyway, that was completely off topic. But it made me think about that. Partially because I was just obsessing about it anyway, so it came to my mind. But it was a good thing that it came to my mind, because it made me tie two things together that I would like to discuss today. Most of the people who find the liminal space aesthetic like super nostalgic, it feels like home, are people that are my age, which are 18 and up. Specifically from the age of 2000 to 2011, I think. All of these individuals here from that 11-year time period have experienced that feeling of familiar when it comes to thinking back to whenever you were a child. In the comments, I see people saying, I've dreamed about this before, or I've felt this feels so familiar, and I will admit it does feel very familiar to me. I do remember experiences where I would literally dream about some of the things that I'm seeing in those, and I'm so for real. Like, there's a few dreams I still remember to this day because they were so strong, are the ones that they're very similar, but I do see them in these liminal space videos. I think if you were a baby from between the ages of 2000 to about 2006, I think that's a good one. If you were from 2000 to 2006, you grew up in the era where things were starting to go from the 90s, like very cool, colorful, like oh, so amazing, to starting to transition a little bit over, because I was in kindergarten in 2011. So I was in kindergarten in 2011, and I believe I remember from 2012 to 2013 it's starting to die off, like this very specific aesthetic. But anybody who's my age, do you remember Christmas in 2011? From kindergarten to like 3rd grade, 4th grade, it was amazing. Truly something I will see when I'm on my deathbed, and I'm not even exaggerating here. There's actually a chance that that could happen, but sentimentally, something I will see on my deathbed, because that'll never come back. The childhood memories, the family memories, they're never coming back. When you think about, you know, your early childhood, when you see these pictures, you're thinking, huh, these look very familiar. Because babies sleep 50 to 60% of the time, I think that when we were young and we were in the strollers, we were being taken around town, or we were just in the, I see like doctors' offices. They're so nostalgic. But we were babies at that time period. And I think that since we slept so much, maybe we woke up, or like we had to like get a shot or something, so we were woken up temporarily. Surrounding environment blended in with our dream and wove itself, and because you're a child, you don't really understand things. So it blended in with the surrounding environment, which we did technically have dreams of them. So when we were 5, already not babies, but we're getting to be toddlers to kids, I think that this was already like something that had just happened, so it was fresh in our mind. So when we saw our environment, that's why I said maybe not 2012 and up, because I think that aesthetic was already dying down. But if you were born from like 2000 to 2005, you know that that was kind of still like the McDonald's play place, like where they had like the little games. I was a little too young for that. Maybe that was like 2000 babies. But even being a 2005 kid, I was very, like, I didn't really get a chance to experience the video games. I was too young. Especially being born in August, where you were already younger than the people in your class because the way registration worked when you were in kindergarten, so I was younger than everybody in my class. But besides that, I'm saying I think that our environment blended in because we were asleep so much. If we were born nowadays, we would have this about this environment, which would be TikTok. So maybe the future generation will get some sort of nostalgia-like thing when it comes to watching Cocomelon type of aesthetics. Sometimes I see these videos of these liminal spaces and they're like houses. Like I'll put up a picture right here. It's like a carpeted place. Now, I didn't grow up in a place that had carpet. My childhood home, from born to 14, actually we moved out on my birthday, but we didn't have carpet in our house. But I still get that nostalgia. Well, why is that? Well, because when my mom would take me on the stroller, we passed by these houses that were like white. Like, they were all cookie cutter houses, but they weren't the nice cookie cutter houses. We all have our backstory. I would always imagine how they would look whenever I was younger, and the way I imagined it was these liminal spaces that you see. And why is that? Well, because that was the most recent thing I tied in, you know? Because I would, watching the 2000s shows, I would watch these, like, I don't even know, dude. I can't even remember that far. But the interior would look like those liminal spaces. So when I passed by them, whenever I was young, it was past knowledge. That's my theory. Because it makes sense. If you look at studies, you can find out that babies sleep 60%. So I'm curious now. I'm very curious. If you were born after 2012, I want for you to tell me if you still feel nostalgic to that. If we ask the kids that were born in 2020, when they're 18, if we ask them, does this, and we show them those edits with like the luminal space decor, oh my god, the decor luminal space type of music, if you put that over that and you show that to them, like a little edit of like luminal spaces, would they still think the same? And I'm so curious to know, because whatever they say in the future will prove me right or wrong. So we're gonna have to wait like 18, we're gonna have to wait like 17 years until all of these kids get older. So can future me actually stitch this and be like, you were right, or no, ho, you're wrong? But yeah, that was just something that I thought of in class. If you have any more theories, let me know. I ran out. Okay, I'm ending this.